It was a battle of a great defense against a great offense, and it came down to the wire. The Tiger Football Report starts next.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
Wise Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and it's locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl, chocolate-covered pretzel. How can you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome to another edition of the Tiger Football Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Rob Ambrose. And Coach, the Tigers and the Maine Black Bears get together this past Saturday, 2 top 20 teams in the country. Maine boasting one of the best defenses in the nation, leading the nation in rushing yardage allowed per game. Tigers top 5 offense in the country. Well, the Maine defense gave up a lot of points. Unfortunately for the Tigers, their defense gave up a little more, and the Tigers come up on the short end of a 35-28 game that, again, was a thriller that came down to the wire.
It was. It's an exceptional defense, to make your point. It's not a good defense. It's an exceptional defense. We knew they were good going into the game. The real live, in-person, seeing them play, watching them play, especially their front seven. There's a reason they're leading the country in sacks, and they got to us a little bit too. But and there's a reason they're really good against the run. I think, what'd you say, they're averaging 60 yards a game. I mean, we beat that, and we basically did that in about a half. So 2 good football teams playing in November in the CAA, and in the end of the game, the room for error is really, really small.
At one point in this ball game, you're down 28-10, but you guys managed to come back, tie it up at 28 apiece. At that point, the defense had kind of shut down Maine for a while. What was it that Maine was able to do to get back to drive downfield and score to go up 35-28 in the fourth quarter?
They mixed it up pretty good, and then they ended up getting a PI call later in that drive that really made a difference in where the ball was. And hoping we could get a goal line stop, we actually had a guy lined up perfectly, and he just missed a tackle. So, like I said, the room for error is small. And to be honest, if you're being honest about the evaluation game, we only played a half of football. We really did. We only played a half of football. You go back and look at the film and see how we responded. We were still hungover from the loss from Delaware. The emotional drain that game was, and not winning that ball game really took its toll, and we fought really hard to get it back all week long, but it was hard. And it took us being down at halftime to actually wake up again. And when we did, we came out like gangbusters, but you can't do that against good football teams, especially this time of year.
Last drive of the game for the Tigers, you go downfield, you get first and goal at the 9-yard line on first down. Shane Simpson gets it down to the 2. What's the thinking there at that point? You've got 3 plays to get into the end zone. What's the thinking right there?
Oh, we're going to go with our best stuff. There's no question about that. One of which was running power, which is one of the things we've been able to do pretty well, but they stuffed that really, really well. And then it became a chess match. We were in 2-point play land, if you can understand what that means. Like, you came up with a script for the 3-yard line, so we're down and around that area. So we're going through our menus of plays that are for that. And we had one called, they called a timeout. Another one.
Yeah, it seemed like you both had 10 timeouts
We
left
did.
there
It was,
at the end.
it's chess. You see it every day in the NFL, and you're looking for the right alignment to run the play, and they're looking for what you're doing. So it's, they call a timeout. We call a timeout because they got us on that one. Like, we're not going to give them that. So we went back and forth, and in the end, we ran the play off of the play. We got the 2-point play in Delaware.
Right. Where Shane threw it to Tom.
Mm-hmm. So Tom, being who he is, he tends to draw pretty much a crowd. And if we'd have just ran that play, when as a coach, if a team runs that play the previous week, you're going to spend some time covering that for 2-point play land. And they knew that we gave them the exact same formation, and we almost got the right look. Almost doesn't count.
No, it doesn't. And I'm not going to say devastating loss, because you guys, you still have everything you want to accomplish in front of you with 2 games left. And by playing so well up until, and you've played well every week. I mean, let's face it, you've lost to 2 very good football teams in the final 3 seconds and the final minute and 20 seconds. But you still got everything in front of you. What do you do to make sure that there's no hangover like there was after Delaware?
There isn't. Don't get me wrong. Elon's a great football team, and we're going to have to fight our rear end off to beat them. But I guarantee you we're going to play for more than 30 minutes this time. After the Delaware game, you could see pain in their eyes. That's a great way to describe it. And you got to get the pulse of your own players. You could see the pain, and it didn't go away. And because the game carries so much weight for us, and Taos and Delaware game, stuff like that. And it meant a lot. It would have got us to 7 and 1 step closer and all that good stuff. So, and that just lingered. After the Maine game, it was anger. There were angry eyes. Like, we didn't do this. We could have done this very easily, and we didn't do this. And that's a different result. And a different look creates a different result. And we already had practice in horrible weather conditions this week. And it was very, very good practice.
So the Tigers, losing to Maine, fall to 6-3, 4-2 in the CAA. But you've got 2 games coming up against Elon, which we'll talk about later on in the week, and then Madison at the end of the week. But the CAA is kind of in turmoil here because everybody's kind of eating their own.
You can call it turmoil, or you could say, hey, guys on the committee, this is the best conference in America. That we're killing each other week after week after week. And when we survive the regular season schedule, a couple of us are going to have a chance to really make a run at this thing.
All right. The Tigers will take on Elon as they will try to make their run with the final 2 games of the season. Elon, just a top 5 team. Nothing new for the Tigers. Coach Ambrose and I will talk about that later this week on the next edition of the Tiger Football Report. But we thank you for watching this edition of the Tiger Football Report. And as always, go Tigers.